Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Art of MMA Conversations. I'm your host, Mike Ginn. We got a kick-ass episode for you today featuring UFC fighter. I'm talking about Julio Arce. But before we get to him real quick, I'm going to let you know a couple things real quick on my mind. First and foremost, you can see me rocking the Feeling Blue shirt. That's from my man, Jarrell Blue, Feeling Blue Inc. 100% of the proceeds for that shirt go to mental health awareness, so you make sure you check that out. I'll put a link in the show notes below, and you'll probably see a little graphic if you're watching the video of somebody who looks way better than me rocking the shirt. So make sure you check that out. And then also today, we just finally launched our shop. So check out artofmma.com/shop. Got a few cool products in there to check out. If you use the promo code Julio for today's episode, you'll get 10% off. So make sure you check that out, artofmma.com/shop. Now for the man of the hour, I'm talking about UFC fighter Julio Arce, fighting out of Tiger Schulmann's with our good friend Brandon Catino. Julio, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, my man. Just getting down to the last bit. That's it. Last couple days of training, and then next week it's fight time.
For those that don't know, Julio's going to fight February 6th in Las Vegas on the Alistair Overeem card. So many things are subject to change, so I definitely want to knock on wood somewhere, make sure that fight happens for you, because we haven't seen you in the cage since, 2019?
Yeah, it's been a little busy just taking care of some injuries. And then while doing that, then all of a sudden COVID hit. So it's like put a stop to everything for me. But now we're back. And during that time, I used the time to just heal up and then decided to make the run at 35.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, because the last time we talked to you, my man Eric Johnson interviewed you back in, I think, 2017. It was a little bit before you got to the UFC. You were still with ROC. You were the champ there. And you made a statement in that interview that you were like, I don't want to go back down to 135. I don't like the weight cut. I don't like the way I feel. I feel better at 145. Is this just a better opportunity for you? Is that why you're doing it now?
Yeah, it made more sense. I mean, from my last couple fights, you can see like my opponents were just clearly just that much bigger than me. And you can clearly see I'm a 35er that was trying to move up. But I was like, you know what? Let me drop back down. And I used the time wisely when COVID hit to, like I said, heal up and then just focus on getting my weight down so then I can come back to 35.
Yeah, I mean, it was really tough watching it. Like, obviously, 2 of the last 3 fights, you had split decision losses. I think both could have kind of gone either way, though. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of leaned against you, especially in the Dawodu fight. But I mean, either one could have gone either way. The Moraes fight, you were a bloody mess. I mean, you looked like you were cut in the back of the head. You were cut on top of the head. Made the highlights for a number of reasons, just mostly because of your warrior attitude. Every time you step in the cage, it's balls to the wall. I'm gonna try to knock you out, or we're just gonna keep coming forward. So we always love watching you fight. And then of course that head kick you had in that one fight in between with just like you were back against the cage against Erosa, and then all of a sudden you came out with that head kick and just knocked him cold. You could have walked off. I mean, you did throw that one more shot, but you could have walked off. So you've had some exciting fights in the UFC, and I'm sure this one's not going to be any different. I wish I could say both of you are coming off losses trying to get a win, but his was overturned because of a weed charge or whatever the guy he was fighting got popped for. So he's still, I guess, technically on a win streak. But what do you see with your opponent coming up on February 6th that you can kind of exploit?
Look, he has an aggressive pace. He's a bit of a kicker. And, there's a couple of things that I've been watching. So it's about not just sticking to the game plan and just bringing the fight to him.
Yeah, the only time I've ever seen him, Valiev, fight was in PFL. So I guess it's been a couple years now. Because I don't remember his fight in August where he had where he was knocked out. But he looked really good then. He looks similar in weight. So I guess cutting down to 135 against him, you guys will both be around the same size, right?
Yeah. I think we have like the same body frame and everything.
All right, well, at least for once, you won't be like, because Moraes was so much bigger than you. When I saw that fight, and I just watched that back a couple days ago just to get refreshed for this interview, and I couldn't believe how much bigger Moraes was than you. Like, he looked like he should have been in 2 weight classes above you.
Yeah, like and that's what I'm saying. It's like these dudes are huge. Like, I'm holding my own in there, but can only do so much because these guys are just that much bigger.
All right, take me back a little bit before we start talking more about this fight. Last time we talked to you, for those that don't know, and I'll include the link in the show notes, it was back in April of 2017. You were still in ROC. You hadn't quite made the Dana White's Contender Series yet, and you hadn't been called up for the substitute fight. You kind of struck me with how you started that. I know you've always credited your sister with kind of saving you a little bit. You said you were a fat, lazy kid who ate junk food and played video games. So what did she do to make you get in that gym?
Like I was going through like a phase. I just wasn't into like team sports. You know what I mean? Like, so I go try something. I just feel like I couldn't find like my thing.
Was this as like a preteen? Like how young were you?
A little bit, like around the little preteen type of thing. It's like I was just trying other activities, and it I just wasn't finding anything that would click with me. And then once I started training, she like brought me Tiger Schulmann's, and like I fell in love with it. And they took me in and brought me from a fat chubby kid to now like a UFC fighter. Yeah. Now most people don't take that route. They just want to train martial arts, learn self-defense, or get in shape.
I mean, more and more Tiger Schulmann's. There's quite a few people getting that route though.
Yeah, now we got
Shane. Obviously, Brad's doing
Jimmy,
his thing
Lyman,
with XFC and Bellator. Trezano. There's been a number of guys coming out of Tiger.
Yeah, so like I was the 1% that decided to take it further, and they helped me accomplish that.
Yeah, I mean, Tiger Schulmann's obviously we have Brandon on every Tuesday, and he's been harassing you to get you on this show. So thank you to Brandon Catino. He said, just email him, just call him, just text him, whatever. I'm like, all right, buddy. So shout out to Brandon. Funny enough, I was actually reading the old interview, and he's the one that set it up with Eric Johnson to get you on too. So Eric's like my number one. I'm sorry, Brandon's like my number one agent to get you on the show. And we might actually be getting Mike Trezano on the show soon too as well. So that would be pretty awesome.
Nice.
I love like taking time. We've always been about interviewing fighters, not just up and coming, but obviously that's been really important to us, giving people a chance to spotlight that they don't normally get. Obviously now that you're a named fighter, it's a little different, but what has really changed over the last few years? Like better training regimen. What makes 135 such an easier cut now?
I think now I have like a really solid team. I have this guy Frank Benedetto who runs he does like strength and conditioning, but he also has a lot of connections with people who do the nutrition for fighters, with Eric Pena, who does like nutrition for a lot of the fighters in the UFC and in Bellator. And he got me in connect with them and with him. And, he's been working with me to help my drop be very easy, non-stressful, and like I can still be eating, as back then people kind of winged it. And
not starving yourself now.
Yeah. So now it's like that, like got the right people there to help me in that department. My team always, they're always there to push me. My coaches, Tiger Schulmann's, all my teammates, they're always there. So, training has been intense, but the nutrition aspect of it and having somebody be like, this is what you're eating, this is what you're eating at this time, and so on. So it's been very helpful.
I can imagine. I remember just talking to obviously our good friend Sergio Da Silva, who just recently passed away. But every week, like Sergio would be talking about some of these weight cuts and how much just like easier it would be, if some of these fighters took like the 1FC like method of weight cutting. And some of these other, like, just, you fight where you are, because, like you said, like some of your opponents, some of those guys were definitely, Dawodu could easily probably fight 155. Moraes could definitely fight 155. Obviously they cut down, so they have a little bit of an advantage. But yeah, weight cutting in the sport has always been a tricky situation. You see people like Renan Barao who, had to go to the hospital. Paul Daly just recently, had an issue with a weight cut. So it's definitely nothing to play with. I mean, but sometimes you get, unfortunately, it's such a competitive sport. You lose too many fights in a row, and you're back to the drawing board and out of the UFC. So I feel like the UFC puts kind of undue pressure on some of these guys to cut weight, but it's ultimately the fighter's choice, I think. So.
Exactly.
So you got Timur coming up, but let's talk about your last fight, Dawodu. I don't think I've ever been more puzzled by the end of a fight because you actually looked happier than he did after that fight. Now, I will always say you have like the best personality in a fight. You're smiling from the beginning to the end. Like you truly enjoy being there. And he was hurt after that. He won the fight, but he was hurt. Like he just looked like he let the whole world down. And I know both you guys are from the same area. I think he's technically from Canada, but I know he spends a lot of time in the Northeast. So fighting in New York City was a big deal to him as well. And I'm sure it was a huge deal with you fighting in UFC in New York as well. But talk me through that fight. Do you think you won that fight?
I mean, I think I did. But like I said, maybe there's things that I could have done better. So it was just, it was a toss-up. The funny thing is, like I know he said, technically, he was going to be the first person to knock me out.
Yeah, I heard that.
And I guess the fight didn't go that way.
So he was hurt. He didn't finish you?
Yeah, he was upset by that. And he was also upset that he was the first fight of the night. So.
Yeah, I heard that too. I thought the funny thing was I was sitting there screaming at the damn screen when I was watching that fight for you to throw a damn head kick. Because you threw that head kick in the second round and just missed. And the whole time you guys were going back and forth in that third round, I was screaming. I was like, throw it now. Throw the damn, and you wouldn't do it. But I mean, obviously your coaches know better than I do. But like I was just screaming because he had that one hand down. And as somebody who's covered MMA forever, I did, martial arts when I was younger for a long time. I know a little bit something. I'm not on your level by far. And obviously I'm just doing it from armchair, quarterbacking, so to speak. But man, I was screaming at that, like, throw that damn head kick because you have such a lethal head kick. You obviously saw it a couple fights ago. It was just like, I was just like, now, and you just wouldn't throw it. I was getting so mad at you.
Oh my God! Well, that's that fight also at one point I got kicked where I lost all the nerves and feeling in my left leg.
But that was early though, right? That was in the first round, right?
I didn't get my feeling back until like later in the second round.
Oh, so when you threw that kick in the second round, you just didn't have any feeling in it?
Yeah, because I didn't know if I landed my foot, I didn't know if my foot was flat on the floor or it was like twisted.
Oh, okay. Because I was wondering, like, I knew your leg was hurt early, and I was just like, all right. And obviously everybody's talking about calf kicks now after the whole Dustin Connor thing. But I was like, I saw you throw the kick in the second round. I was like, he's fine now. He's good. And I followed you. I mean, I'm not the one that interviewed you in 2017, but I followed you since. You were part of our family, kind of, so to speak. And some of the people that we've interviewed early on, and always rooted for you. So, watching that fight, I was just like, just throw it.
Like, just launch that shit.
Yeah, because I was like, I've seen you do it 100 times. I was like, just go for it. A lot of people don't know because you do so much striking and boxing that you actually have a kickboxing background.
Yeah, people forget that.
I mean, I've seen you sit there and try to do you do a lot of trip takedowns and stuff like that, but you can take somebody's head off, and I hope you do it more. I hope in this fight, I hope to see you finish it with a head kick. I would love that shit. I'm gonna sit there and tell Brandon keep making you do it.
Yeah, I'm so excited for this fight.
Every time Brandon sees you in the gym, I want to tell him like, hey, throw a head kick. Tell him Mike says throw the head kick. I have to ask you though. We talked about it a little bit. The Moraes fight. How much did the blood affect you?
It really affected me a lot. To be honest, it was only a tiny little cut here
that just wouldn't stop.
Yeah, it just wouldn't stop. It was like right on the vein, so then it just kept pouring, but it wasn't detrimental or anything. It's not like I was.
I know it didn't affect your vision, but it was like definitely kept going.
Yeah, the only thing that sucked is like when I try to grab a hold of him, it was just so slippery. I'm like, I can't fucking hold on to this guy right now.
Were you cutting the back of the head too, or is that just the blood got around there somehow?
That was just the blood got all over the place.
I mean, you even got blood on Paul Felder's phone.
That was the best.
He sat there in the middle of that fight. He was like, he got me. Like he was shot because some of your blood went all the way over there. And thankfully that was 2019, not 2020, because with COVID and everything, that would have been
Oh my God.
They would have had to all been. I mean, they wouldn't have been that close to the cage if it was 2020. But do you have any? You think you have any ring rust being out that long?
I don't know. I've just been training like usual, and I'm just excited to get in there. I don't really believe in ring rust. I think I just been training with my teammates and been doing sparring in a cage. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, that was a big deal. Obviously, this weekend. I personally don't think ring rust had anything to do with Conor losing. I don't think it had anything to do. I don't think the calf had anything to do with him losing. I talked about this on Tuesday. I thought, honestly, I think it was just a great move by Dustin to change cage position. He got Conor at distance in a cage where he's can just throw pure volume. And I don't care if you're Conor. I don't care if you're Khabib. I don't care if you're Gaethje. When somebody has you against the cage like that and you're throwing pure volume and somebody that strikes as well as Dustin strikes, he's going to hit you with one of them and put your lights out.
Exactly.
You have two choices. You either fire back and hope to rock him, kind of Andrei Arlovski style, or grab him. And Conor didn't grab him. He kept trying to dodge all the punches, and he dodged most of them. But it only
he kind of relied more on boxing than being like a mixed martial artist.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people, even Khabib said Conor, maybe because he changed his camp and everything for the fight, could have been anything to kind of throw him off. But I want to give Creston. I mean, let's be real. Conor was winning that fight. And I just want to give Dustin credit because everybody's trying to take like what Conor didn't do. I think Dustin, you know yourself. You've been in that cage a number of times. If you turn a certain way, and it's just natural cage awareness, and he put Conor in the bad position. You know, that situation a couple fights ago where you were in the opposite position and you threw that leg kick to get out of it and it happened to knock the guy out. Conor could have tried something like that, but you know, Dustin was throwing so many punches, as Dustin like to say, he went crazy.
Yeah.
He goes crazy. And
it's a guy that paid his dues, and now he's reaping the rewards.
Yeah, I first met him back in 2012.
Damn.
And just to see the way he's come up from then. You know, Eric Johnson, who interviewed you the first time I met Eric a year before we launched Art of MMA, was at that card with Dustin Poirier and Korean Zombie. And he was interviewing Dustin in the lobby of the hotel I used to work at. And I just happened to be there hanging out with some friends. And we just struck it up. I met Dustin then. I saw Dustin after the fight, after he lost. And I'll tell you what, he has never looked that way since. Like, he went to the gym, he trained, he never let himself look like that again. He's lost some fights, but he's never looked like that again. So, you know, sometimes you learn from losses. I'm hoping you do the same because, you know, you're such a fun fighter to watch. When you went off Dana White's Contender Series, did you think you had a contract ready for you, or were you shocked they didn't give you a contract?
It's both. I was like, all right, finish my guy.
Yeah.
The first round didn't go so well, but then I came back, TKO'd him, and all of a sudden it's like they gave the bigger guys the contract. And was it upsetting? Yeah. But then I was like, you know what? I did what I had to do. I won my fight, and it couldn't happen better because then later on, you know, somebody got hurt, and then I got a shot.
You substituted for Charles Rosa, right?
Yeah.
Came in, did your thing. Obviously, rest is history. Now you're a UFC fighter. You're 3-2 in UFC now, I believe?
Yes.
So not too many people can say that. What are your ambitions right now? Obviously, you want to win this fight. That's not even a question. And hopefully you do it in dramatic fashion and put your name back on the map. But with champions like Davis and Figueiredo at 135, Volkanovski, and obviously Max Holloway at 145, you've already said you think your path is better in 135. What do you see when you see somebody like Davis and Figueiredo or a Brandon Moreno that says, you know what, I can beat these guys?
I mean, those guys, they're flyweights, right?
Aren't they 135 or are they 125?
Figueiredo's flyweights. Peter Yan is the 35.
Oh, you're right. I'm so sorry. Yeah, Peter Yan.
Now, you know, look,
he's getting ready to fight Sterling, so that's going to be a crazy matchup.
Yeah. I see a path, and I just see, I'm like, yo, let's take this journey. I've been at 35 before, and you look at no matter which division, like, you know, I'm 45, 35, like, they're deep divisions and they're competitive divisions, and got to get in there and just face the best to be the best.
Now you probably know Alamon pretty well, right? Sterling's in your backyard.
Yeah, he's in Long Island. I think he moved to Vegas though.
Has he? I know Weidman moved down to North Carolina with Thompson, so
yeah,
those Long Island guys are kind of moving around now. But yeah, Sterling fought for a long time in Long Island, New York, that whole area. I know Sergio fought him very early on, like one of his first fights. So to see him come up for a long time is crazy as well. And then Peter Yan's just, knocking everybody out. Obviously, he went quite a while with Aldo. What do you see with Peter Yan that you think maybe I can take that guy?
I think it's just not giving him space. He's a guy that's coming forward. So you have to kind of meet him. And, usually last 30 seconds, he likes to blitz you to kind of take the round. So you have to be aware of that. And then, kind of capitalize on that. Because he'll lull you to sleep a little bit.
I noticed you do the same thing. Maybe not the last 30 seconds, but you definitely the second half of the round kind of come more alive.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly thought that's what cost you in the Dawodu fight, because you sat there the first half of the third round, kind of like, letting him push you against the cage and do some different things. And then you kind of came alive and started piecing them apart like later in the round, but it was kind of too late at that point.
Yeah.
Is that something you kind of focus on training, kind of like focusing more on the later part of the round, like saving your energy?
Yep. Just get started. That's it.
Any thoughts to like trying to come out a little bit faster, or you just like being patient?
You know what? I'm definitely, just going to bring the fight to him. That's it.
Cool. Man, you're still in traffic, aren't you? Or are you not?
No, I just arrived at work.
Okay.
Yeah, I got to teach a private lesson. Hold on a second.
No worries. I lost your video for a second.
Yeah.
Well, I won't keep you much longer. I know you got some stuff to do, and I know you're in the middle of training. Actually, I do have one question for you, because Brandon always seems to be the coolest, calmest guy on the street. Tell me you got some funny story about Brandon Coutinho.
Unfortunately, I do not.
What?
Well, actually, wait, yeah. I don't know if he's ever told you, there's always that song by Rihanna. It's called We Got Love. Forgot the name of it. And he always listens to that song every time we would fight on the same card. And I'm like, how does that get you hyped up? He's like, I don't know. It just does. It's just one of those songs. I got to bust his chops about it a bunch of times, because it's just like,
I'm not surprised.
He's so random thing.
He's so low key. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I always notice that when in the gym, you tend to be the personality of the Tiger Schulmann's gym. Like every time I see pictures of different things, you're the one in a costume. If I see a video, you're the one clowning around. Are you the personality of the gym?
Many personalities. Everyone's just so different. I'm just always having a good time, man. Always in a good mood.
Yeah, I noticed you, Shane. Shane does a lot of crazy stuff from time to time. I think I'm not going to spoil his spotlight. Brandon told me some stuff he was up to. I'm not going to say that on air. but I think you guys got a lot of great personalities there. The one thing I've always kind of wondered, and I know you definitely did before. Are you still training directly under Tiger?
Yeah.
So he still takes time to train you every day?
Mm-hmm.
Does he train all the top guys, or is he still teach a class? How active is he?
He just focuses on the fight team and just trains all the top guys.
Man, that guy's built an empire. I was sitting there thinking about all the gyms he's opened up from early on in that area to now the fact that you can find a Tiger Schulmann's pretty much anywhere in the Northeast. And probably as far, I want to say he has some all the way towards the Midwest, I believe, the central area.
Yeah, man, he's accomplished. Sent from, build an empire of martial arts, sent guys to the UFC. He's got tremendous accomplishments, under his belt.
Have you ever seen him, does he still compete at all? I know he's older now, but when he was competing, did he ever think about trying to compete in the UFC or anything like that? Or did he always just do the individual arts?
I think he just kind of just trained. He did his the Kyokushin tournaments, back then. And that was it. And then he just focused on just, building his empire. He leaves the competing up to us.
Well, he's done an amazing job. I'm always very, very honored to talk to any of you guys from that gym because they're all you guys got your head on your shoulders. All you guys are like ready to fight. You're always prepared. I'll give you the last word. A couple things. Tell people where they can find more information about you and tell people what to expect on February 6th.
Well, you guys can all find me on Instagram, Julio Arce89, or on Twitter, JRCTSMMA. And then February 6th, just expect a scrap. I'm looking to get, fight tonight, performance tonight, but we're getting a bonus. We're going there, scrap.
All right, looking forward to it, man. Julio, thank you for taking some time. I'll let you get to your lesson. Good luck with the rest of your training camp. I'll see you on February 6th on ESPN Plus, the Alistair Overeem Volkov card. You're on the prelims, right?
Yes.
All right, so make sure you guys tune in early for the prelims. Check them out. Make sure you go to artofmma.com/shop. Make sure you go to feelingblueinc.com. Check out that as well. And, of course, I'll leave all the links and show notes to check out Julio and follow him. He posts stuff pretty much every day on Instagram about his whole journey through this whole fight camp. So make sure you check it out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Art of MMA, and we'll see you next time.